All right, round two. The Western Romans are going on the offensive, and we're going to be taking the 6th Infantry here in Rhaetia. We're going to be moving north into Alemanni with a general, as well as one catapult unit. Okay, and I've got the Franks that were in Alemanni already on the battle board. So let's get the Romans over here, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we've got, again, 6 infantry for the Western Romans, 1 general. They'll be attacking with a +1 on the infantry because of the general. So let's go ahead and we'll roll 7 dice looking for 2 or less. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3. That one's a little sideways, but it was going to fall 6. So we've got 3 hits initially. And then we have a catapult rolling 3 or less. And roll a 6. That's a miss. The rule with the catapult, though, you get a +1 die reroll in combat. So we're going to go ahead and do our reroll. And 5, we missed again with catapult. Okay. So we did manage to get 3 of the Frankish infantry. We'll take those as casualties. And then the Franks will now have a roll of 4, 2 or less. Okay, so the Franks did get 1 hit. All right. And we will take 1 Roman infantry off. We've already removed the Frankish infantry, and the attack will continue. So we have for the Romans 6, 2 or less. All right, and we got it right there, no problem. And the Frankish cavalry will return with a 3, and that's a miss. Okay, so a much needed win for the Western Romans up into Alemanni. Okay, we'll get these infantry up here. All right, and the catapult as well. Okay, we'll continue on with the combat for now. So we have 1 cavalry, 1 infantry down here in Terra Deserta. We're moving into Mauritania. Okay, so that's an attack of 1 with infantry, 2 or less with cavalry. We'll go ahead and just roll both. We missed. The neutral, 2 or less, miss. Again, a 2 or less and a 1 or less for the Romans. Okay, we got the 1. And then 1 last for the neutral, 2 or less, they miss. Okay. So the Romans have now taken Mauritania. And then the last combat will be 1 cavalry, 1 infantry, moving over here to Hibernia. Okay. From Caledonia. And this galley will be going to pick those up and dropping them off. And we're going to do a shore bombardment as well. So we'll do the galley first, and per the rule, they get 1 turn shore bombardment. So the galley has a combat attack of 2 or less. Okay, they miss, so normal combat will continue. We've got cavalry attacking at 2 or less, and then the infantry. Okay, we both got it. Return fire for the neutral, 2 or less, and they miss. Okay, great round of combat for the Western Romans, much needed. Let's go ahead and place all these units and we'll do our non-combat movement as well. And be right back. Okay, so the Romans decided for non-combat. We moved one infantry up here to Cotier. We moved the two infantry that was in Noricum over here to Pannonia. And then we, of course, moved our winning units up into, what is that again? Alemanni. Okay. So we've adjusted the income tracker. Western Romans are jumping ahead at 35 income. And the Franks suffered a big defeat that round. So that turn, I should say. So they're down to 8. So real quick, the Western Romans are making a purchase. Again, they started off with 32. So they're going to elect to have 3 cavalry, okay, 1 catapult, and 3 infantry. And if my math is correct, that is a total of 31. So they will actually have, pardon the camera, they will have 1 left over for next round. And then let's go ahead and place these units. So we're going to place 2 infantry in Belgica, along with the catapult. Okay, 1 infantry in Dalmatia. Along with 1 cavalry. And then that leaves us 2 cavalry left. We will put these into reserve in Lugdunensis. And again, we have all the pieces moved into position. And again, the Western Romans will have a 35 income this round, and that's going to do it for the Western Romans. So let's move on to the Eastern Romans. Okay, it's round 2 for the Eastern Roman Empire, and the Eastern Romans have a decision to make. They're going to have to push out the barbarian tribes who are ever so closely approaching their empire. We already have the Goths that have taken over one of their provinces, and then over here we have the Sassanids who are in a position to certainly start an incursion into the eastern part. So what the Eastern Romans are going to do, they're going to launch a full-scale attack from Cappadocia as well as Eastern Roman Syria into the Sassanid-controlled Assyria. All right. And then down here in Palestina, these 2 infantry are going to move over into Nabatea, see if we can take out that neutral, gain another additional income. And I believe that's going to be it for the combat movement. So let's go ahead and get to the combat. We'll go ahead and do the small battle first. And in this one, we've got 2 infantry that are attacking on a combat a combat attack of 1. So we'll go ahead and roll those. Okay, we miss. And actually, I'm going to use a red for the neutral. Okay, the neutral misses. Okay, we're going to start over, and we'll just roll all 3 of these simultaneously. Again, purple for the Eastern Romans, red for the neutral. Okay, so the neutral does score a hit. That's not good. Okay, so we're going to take 1 of these away. And I was hoping to to get the jump on this guy, but I don't necessarily want to lose my reserve. So unfortunately, we're gonna call this attack off. The neutral prevailed. Okay, so now the secondary battle, the larger battle, we're going to put this on the battle board, and we'll be right back. All right, so we got these on the battle board, and again, the Eastern Romans have a general, and there's 6 infantry in total from both attacking provinces. So those will also attack on a value of 2. Then we have, of course, 1 cavalry and a catapult. So we have a total of 8 2 or less, and I'm going to row 6 on the outset. Okay, so we're looking for 2 or less. So we have 1, 2, 3 hits so far, and then let's roll the other 2. Okay, we got another hit. So that's 4 hits in total. So the Sassanids will move their 4 infantry to the casualty zone. Okay, and then that leaves 2 cavalry that they'll be also defending with. So that's a total of 6 2 or less for the Sassanids. And we'll go ahead and get these rolled. So we've got nothing, 6s, 5, and a 3. Not very good for the Sassanids. So we're going to go ahead and we'll remove these from the board. Obviously, the Eastern Romans are going to continue this attack. And again, we have 8 total 2 or less. We'll roll 6. Okay, there's 2. Okay, we got those 2 hits. All right. Excellent, excellent attack by the Eastern Romans. So we'll row for the 2 Sassanid cavalry, and we got 1, 2 there. So, okay. All right. So that was a great move on the Eastern Romans' part. Let's go ahead and get this cavalry moved. The Eastern Romans, I actually just noticed I actually even forgot to roll for the catapult, so it's kind of overkill. We didn't need it. I'll take 1 infantry casualty off there, and then we're going to return these back to the map. Okay, so we've got the combat concluded for the Eastern Romans, and you see we've got our marker down. Assyria is worth a value of 2, so we went ahead and adjusted the marker for the Eastern Romans, as well as lowered the Sassanid marker down to 9. So we have a 3-way tie between the Goths and the Huns. And then, so non-combat movement will be very brief. I'm going to move the galley up to Sea Zone 7. And then we're going to move 1 infantry up into Pontus, along with the cavalry. And then the 1 infantry in Lycia, we're going to move this to Cappadocia. And of course, the army in Thracia will remain. So that'll be the end of non-combat. Now, purchasing, the Eastern Romans started out with 31 at the beginning of this round, and they're going to use all of that in purchasing 3 cavalry, 3 infantry, and 1 catapult for a total of 31. And so we'll go ahead and get these placed onto the map. And when we come back, we'll move on next to the Franks. Well, it's the Franks. The Franks really took a devastating blow first round when beginning of round 2, I should say. The Western Romans really encroached in their territory. I've looked at this as objectively as I can. Obviously, I'm playing a solo game, but from a standpoint of an attack position, Franks do not have a general. They've got a lot of infantry. You see over here, we've got 6 infantry. We've got 3 in Francia, and of course, we've got infantry in the north. My belief is that the Franks are in a better position, maybe to consolidate the forces, even though they took over Germania Superior. I believe that the Franks would be in a better position to move all their forces and consolidate in Frankie to have a better defense against the Romans, as well as perhaps see what develops over here between the Goths, the Huns that are fast approaching, and maybe the Franks will be in a stronger position, let's say in the next round or the round after. So there'll be no combat for the Franks this time. I think it's best to go ahead and consolidate. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we moved, again, all the forces from Germania Superior into Francia, okay? And that's going to give us, let's see, a total of 6, 7, 8, 9 infantry. Okay, we got 2 cavalry. And now, as far as new purchasing, the Franks were up to 10 at one point. They're down now, so they're going to go ahead and spend 9 for 3 additional infantry. Of course, they'll have 1 left over. So we'll go ahead and place these 3 infantry into Frankie as well. Okay. And that'll give them a total of 12 infantry to defend with, 2 cavalry. And Franks are down to 8. So we will go ahead and adjust their income, and we will move on at this point. It's not looking too good for the Franks, but I think the defense move was probably the best strategy overall. All right, we'll be right back. All right, it's turn 4, round 2. It's the Goths. For the Goths, we're going to move. We're going to do a cavalry blitz from Sarmatia into Dacia, which is 1 move. Second move into Eastern Roman held Thracia. These are the additional units that the Eastern Romans had purchased and placed earlier. Additional catapult and the cavalry went there. So the Goths have decided that they're going to have to attack now. They don't have the numbers to move north to attack the Huns at this stage. So we're going to make a blitz into Thracia with, again, 2 cavalry in Sarmatia, 1 cavalry in Dacia. We're going to go with 2 infantry as well in Moesia, as well as 1 additional cavalry unit. Okay, and just so I remember, I'm going to put it under this one. Okay, and then so the Eastern Romans have 4 infantry in total in Thracia, 1 cavalry, 2 catapults defending. So let's get these on the battle board. That'll be all of the combat for the Goths. So let's get these on the battle board, and we'll see how the attack turns out. All right, so we got them on the battle board. So we have, again, the Goths are attacking with 6 cavalry, And I initially said 2. I brought 1 additional infantry from Dacia, so there'll be 3 infantry in total. And then we have the Eastern Romans in the defense, as well as two catapults. So let's go ahead and we'll roll for 3 Gothic infantry, and we're looking for 1s. 1 jumped. All right, missed. Okay, and now we will roll for, as I'm dropping it, we'll roll for 6 of the Gothic cavalry. Okay. All right, looking for 2 or less. We got one hit in total. Okay. So the Eastern Romans will remove 1 infantry in the casualty zone. All right. So the Eastern Romans will now return fire. I was hoping to get a few more on that opening salvo for the Goths, but it is what it is. All right, so we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 or less. Alrighty, so there is 2 hits. Okay, we'll take the 2 infantry. And then we have 2 catapults defending at 3s. All right, we got 1 hit with catapult. The 4 actually missed, and again, per the rule, we're going to do a re-roll for the additional catapult, and 4 again. So again, 1 hit. All right, and we're going to take an infantry. All right. Well, I think it's go time. The Goths are going to continue. We've got a total of 6 cavalry. Looking for 2 or less. So there's one hit. Wow. Not good for the Goths. Okay. We'll take 1 casualty there. And again, we've got 4 2 or less that we're looking at for the Eastern Romans. Yeah, 1 flew out. We got 1 there, looks like. 1 it is. Okay. So we'll take 1 casualty there. And now we've got the 2 catapults, again, rolling, excuse me, for 3 or lesses. All right, and 2 hits on the outset. Wow. Devastating for the Goths, to say the least. All right. So I think the Goths at this point have no other choice but to retreat. So we're gonna go ahead and end this combat, and we're gonna retreat to the nearest neutral territory, and we'll be right back. Okay, we've returned the pieces to the map. So yeah, the Eastern Romans made out like a bandit on that battle. So they still have pretty much a full force in Thracia. So I did my non-combat moves. I moved 1 infantry, 1 Gothic infantry down into Moesia. I moved 2 infantry from Marcomanni over into Sarmatia, and we moved 2 other infantry up from Dalmatia as well. So, yeah, the Goths are in trouble. Ain't no other way of saying it, looks like. So the Goths do have 9 that they've started with, and they are going to elect to purchase 3 infantry. So we'll go ahead and put these on the map, and these will go 1 up into Sarmatia, 2 into the home province of Dalmatia. And the Goths again they're at 9 total, so we'll just go ahead and keep their income there. That is 9, and that's going to do it for the Goths. All right, it's turn 5, round 2, the Sassanids. Sassanids are equally in trouble, it appears. They have 1 lone infantry in Arabia. Their main force was demolished previously by the Eastern Romans. There's 5 cavalry in Armenia, 3 infantry that is actually staring down the Huns at this point. And of course, we have a neutral up there. I think there'll be no combat for the Sassanids this round, and there will equally be no non-combat movement. So we're going to go straight to purchasing units. And at the beginning of this round, the Sassanids had 11. So they're going to go ahead and purchase 1 catapult for 7 and 1 infantry for 3. And that'll give them 1 income remaining. And they're still at 9. So we're going to go ahead and place these units over into Armenia. We'll put a catapult and the infantry there. Okay. And I believe that's going to do it. I'll go ahead and adjust the income. And then we're going to move on to the last turn in this round. And we're going to see what the Huns are going to do. All right, we're back with the Huns. So the Huns are just going to keep on rolling. So the Huns are going to move 1 cavalry unit, 2 infantry into the neutral province of Colchis. Okay, and then we're going to move 6 infantry in Roxolani. 6 cavalry, and then an additional 6 cavalry in Sarmate. Those are going directly into Sarmatia to attack the Goths. All right. Then the 1 additional cavalry and infantry will be attacking the neutral in Vandali. Okay, and then the remainder, 6 cavalry, they'll make a blitz maneuver into Burgundois, and then once they destroy that neutral unit, they'll move on into Langobardi. And the 1 infantry will also be participating in the initial attack, and of course they will remain there. Cavalry does get an additional attack move as well. So we'll go ahead and let's just go ahead and do the ones we can straight from the map, and we'll do the 2 infantry initially. Okay, 2 infantry, 1. Looking for 1s and we miss. All right. Okay, we got 1 cavalry. That's a 3, miss. Okay, we'll roll for the neutral. And they roll a 4, so we'll continue. 2 infantry. And got a miss there. 1 cavalry unit. That's a hit. Okay, and let's roll for the neutral. And 2. That is actually that's a hit. I may have messed up on the other one, but yeah, that one's a hit. So, okay, so we got, we will remove 1 infantry, and then of course the Huns will take over Colchis. We'll go ahead and move this out of the way. All right. And then let's go ahead and, for the Battle of Sarmatay, let's go ahead and put this one on the map. Okay, so the Huns again have 12 cavalry units. We're going to go ahead and roll for these 6 at a time. Okay, we're looking for, again, 2s. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. 5 hits opening for the Huns. Okay. And then we will roll. Well, actually, there's no point in rolling for the remainder because the guys have five infantry. So we got 5 hits, and that'll do it right there. So let's go ahead and roll for the 5 remaining Goths in the casualty zone. Let's see if they can make it glorious. Okay, they got 1. Yep, just like the previous round. Okay, so the Goths will take off 1 Hunnic cavalry. And man, the Huns just mopped up on them. Okay. All right, let's get these back on the map. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and roll for 1 Gothic infantry moving into Vandali, and then 1 cavalry. So we have a combat attack of 1 and a combat attack of 2. Okay, we missed both. All right, now the neutral, looking for a 2 or less defense. They roll a 1. Okay, so we'll go ahead and remove the Hunnic cavalry. All right, and Huns will continue. Rolling for 2 or less. And that's a miss. Okay, neutral, 2 or less. Okay, they miss. Okay, combat will continue. The Hunnic cavalry, they roll a 3. It's not looking good. The neutrals, well, they roll a 5. Okay, Hunnic cavalry, 1. Okay, we got a hit there. And then lastly, the neutral in defense, a 5. Okay, so that went down to the wire. We'll go ahead and take this neutral off, and the Huns will move into there. Okay, so the remaining combat, again, we're going to move 6 cavalry into Burgundois, and then once this battle is concluded, along with this infantry, the remaining cavalry will then move south into Langobardy. Okay, so let's go ahead and roll for the infantry first. Combat 1. Okay, miss. Okay, we'll do 6 cavalry. Looking for 2 or less, and we got that one, no problem. Okay, and then the neutral will roll in defense, 2 or less, miss. Okay. Okay, and again, the cavalry will go south. So we'll be looking at 6 cavalry again. All right. And we got several 2s, 2 and a 1. So neutral is defeated. And then defense, neutral rolls a 1. So they will take out one of the Hunnic cavalry. All right. Let's get all this cleaned up adjust the map and the well, let's just go ahead and clean the map up, and then we'll do the purchasing. Okay, we got everything back on the map. So the Huns cleaned up that round. This is going to bring us to the end of the second round. And not only are the Huns advancing quickly, but they've done so far what the other barbarian tribes have failed to do, and substantially increase their income. So the Huns are now up to 15, and so they're in a good position to start purchasing units in the next round. So the Huns have a good grasp of territory right now to work from. And they've lost relatively few of their opening units. So that's another plus. So if you recall, in the first round, the Huns did maintain their income. They did not purchase the first round. So therefore, they have 10 to start out with, and they're going to go ahead and elect to purchase 2 cavalry units. Okay, let's go ahead and get these on the map. All right. And we are going to place, since they already had this as an existing territory, we're going to place 1 cavalry unit into this territory, and then 1 cavalry unit let's see here. 1 cavalry unit, we'll put it back in Sarmate, which they had held at the beginning of this round. So, all right. This is what the board is shaping up. Again, we'll adjust the Huns' income here off camera. And interesting second round. I think notably the Sassanids and the Goths suffered this round. In particular, the Goths have. Whereas the Western Romans have built up their empire very well. And the Eastern Romans are poised in a position likely of perhaps taking out the remainder of the Sassanids. We'll see. All right, guys. This is going to bring us to the end of round 2. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is the Plastic Commando, over and out.